Oh, is it? You probably have no idea what this video is about, which is okay. Don't panic. It's very intentional, and it's going all according to plan. Maybe I didn't actually know that the recording had started, or maybe I just really didn't know how to start this video. But that's the beauty of silence, because even though you didn't hear anything, it told you something. It can speak to you if you listen closely. This is... Let's get something straight. I need to talk to you about a concept that is very familiar to you, but hasn't really had a specific term for it. People call it lots of things: irresponsibility, ignorance, negligence, etc., but it doesn't really do it justice. For this phenomenon, let's call it a silencer. It's the act of when a company or a form of authority weapons silence and secrets as feigning ignorance and or rejecting responsibility to save face and cut corners. It can also mean literally silencing others to make sure things are swept under the rug. I'll show you some artifacts and prime examples of real-life uses of a silence. Let's start with artifact 1, Overwatch. Overwatch is owned by a company you may have heard of called Blizzard Entertainment. It's been a very successful game company since 1991 with games such as World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, etc. It also has many changes, including the way they dealt with sexual harassment in the workplace. But we're not talking about that today. Overwatch became really popular in the beginning. It was constantly the talk of town. It was new, it reimagined hero team shooters. That's until people started getting better, and balances to the game were causing the player base to second-guess Blizzard's reliability. It was becoming a constant game of catch-up for Blizzard to meet their players' demands. And over time, we started to lose quality in new events. It lifted up spirits, though, once they announced a sequel in 2019, focusing on an expanded multiplayer and player versus campaign with customizable gameplay. Makes so much sense, doesn't it? They've been working on a second game. Of course they wouldn't be releasing as much, but it's okay, right? Because we're gonna get really good stuff. Does anybody hear that noise? Yeah, so the pandemic really screwed everyone up, huh? Everyone was leaving left and right, and they decided to hit the panic button. A silencer. This silencer was used in the way just to be completely silent, appearing as though they were actually doing work. This is what we would call an objective secret, which Alida Halsby writes in her book, Reading Rhetorical Theory, Chapter 17, where an objective secret is created to diffuse. It's hard to get to, it's up to each individual opinion, and they live in long-term memory. This perfectly describes Blizzard's strategy since they were trying to diffuse the situation with not doing anything. Then, in 2022, after 2 years of radio silence, Microsoft bought Blizzard and the big Overwatch 2 was released. And it went perfectly. Just kidding, everything went wrong. Long queue times, unbalanced mechanics, account transferring issues, matchmaking broken, PvE was missing. Game was free now with excessive prices for cosmetics. At least didn't affect gameplay. Safe to say, the game fell off. Oh, and also, they ditched PvE. Until a game called Marvel Rivals finally gave Blizzard some competition. And suddenly they're active, adding game modes, balancing characters better, adding new characters, 4 new ones at the same time, by the way. The game has never been healthier. Blizzard has been able to throw away the silencer and try to make an effort to listen to their players more and be more transparent. This is genuinely the most fun I've had playing Overwatch, and it makes me really happy to see a game that I've been supporting since 2020 isn't going to go out without a bang. We can't talk about shady game companies without bringing up Roblox. If you're not a boomer or don't live under the darkest rock possible, you've probably heard of it. Allow me to refresh your memory. Roblox is a free gaming platform focused on community creation and entirely relies on it. Allows their players to make whatever they like and whatever they can dream up. So you can play games from microwave dinner to climb scary worm tower to... that's kind of weird, but okay. You can play with friends or random people online. What could ever go wrong with having a free-to-play platform where people can do anything and is entirely community-focused? Yeah, some games became notorious for bad actor behavior. Roblox turned a complete blind eye to the issue. One of their own developers, which was kicked out later on for other reasons, had been a bad actor and drove his victim to try to leave this planet. The victim grew up and became a YouTuber known as Schlep. He made videos on catching predators on the platform and even worked with the police. Isn't this amazing? Doing this all respectfully, even contacting Roblox and trying to work with them. So Roblox used a silencer. They wanted to make sure that Schlep wasn't showing investors on how bad the state of the platform was. Children were just statistics to them. He made a response video on YouTube, and they initiated another silencer, where instead of addressing the bad actors on the platform, they tried to distract people with a slander campaign. This is using objective secrets again, but it also uses conspiracy rhetoric. In that same chapter by Halsby, which she describes as, conspiracy theories are a repeating form of disinformation that produces a paranoid mindset in the audience. They were trying to make Schlep look like a crazy maniac who was hurting people. While it never worked on the player base, really, for investors that didn't play the game, it would be easy to fool. They banned the word Schlep on Roblox, never addressed anything of importance, and weren't taking down games that were infested with bad actors. Schlepp's story got out, and he got into contact with some very popular lawyers, along with Chris Hansen himself. Now Roblox is being sued by multiple states and is even banned in multiple countries. Roblox has made a complete fool out of itself and is forced to actually follow regulations, but somehow still being creepy at the same time. I don't really feel comfortable playing this game anymore until some sort of effort has been shown and some staff changes. And please, if you know someone who isn't in the know about this, share it with them. Parents need to be aware of the dangers of the internet. For Object 3, I never said this video was about gaming. We have to talk about the Epstein files. This is all allegedly due to the files only being evidence of an active investigation. On November 19th of 2025, the Epstein Files Transparency Act was signed into law. The law made it that they needed to release all of the files within 15 days in January, with allowing some censorship for the victims and materials for active investigations. Makes an effort to mention that it needs to list all perpetrators, including government officials, and a summary of whatever is redacted. They didn't really do any of that. They did not publish it in its entirety in the time limit, or even all of it at once. The second batch of files literally looked like this, and somehow they didn't even redact it properly. That is actually a rhetorical strategy that you've probably heard of before called whistleblowing, where the point is to tell the public what shady things a group has done. This is a strategy also called stovepiping. The strategy is usually used when something needs to be tarnished for someone's own gain. It was released strategically to make it overwhelming. More than 6 million files, 300 gigabytes of data, and they only released 3.5 million of that, where many of the victims were not properly redacted, many of the minors, and got doxed with full addresses and other sensitive information. How many people do you know have actually read all of the files? I myself was trying to figure out how many times that Trump's name was mentioned, and I had clicked on a random one, and I just couldn't. I felt so sick. How could a human being be capable of doing such things? That's exactly how it's designed to make us think. The memes and jokes that come out of it, to scare you, we need to move on. It's not real. Terrible reporter. And then silence. You might be wondering why I brought up these two other objects, except Roblox. Roblox is really bad. A silencer is designed to make its audience and or opponents feel helpless. But what's its one weakness? You have seen now with the first two silencers that they could never be a permanent solution. And what stopped them? The Overwatch community showed that they were unhappy with Blizzard by community discussions and showing that they didn't want to support a half-assed game. With Roblox, it got banned and sued by many countries and states because people spread awareness to everyone they could. Don't shut up. Don't shy away. Don't be afraid of speaking up. Even just one person can make a difference. I think everyone likes silence from time to time. It's important, but it can get deafening after a while. Thank you for facing the music with me.